Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. How are you all doing? I'm going to do a little bit of crafting today. I'm just going to pull myself up here or find us on Facebook. And we'll just give it a moment. Just when I open Facebook, I see that Gina K is live right now. I don't know what she's doing. I did not know that. All right. Perfect. I'm going to get comments up here, make sure my mic is turned off. Excellent. Sorry, it's a little bit. Let me just adjust the camera a wee bit. There we go. All right. Hi, Sandy. Are you working today? Well, you're always working, Sandy. That's a dumb question. All right, I'm just gonna slide this over a wee bit. Hello, Melanie. How are you? I've got some kind of fun Altenew stuff to take a look at. Even though I know their new release has just gone up, I think in the last couple of days, we've got some fun stuff to look at from the April release that Sandy so kindly brought in. So we'll take a quick boo and then we'll do a quick little demo. So for those of you who haven't been able to make it to a carnival, I'm going to share with you in today's demo, we're going to do one of the make and takes that we did at Carnival. Well, not the exact same product, but you can get an idea what we do for make and takes at Carnival. Hey, Melanie, I know it is so nice to have the sun out. My app told me it was going to rain at some point, but it gets a little cloudy, then the sun comes back out, so it's all good. So sorry, you might see the lighting change in here a little bit. I still have to figure out my lighting, but it's just the clouds kind of moving in and out, even though I'm like right in front of a window here. Okay, so let's take a boo at some of this fabulous Altenew product, and we are going to look at the Craft Your Life kit from the April release. And I don't know if any of you have purchased Craft Your Life kits before. This is they're packaging this in a different way. We used to comment about this. They have beautiful tissue paper packaging, and that's what they used to wrap the kit in. But now you've actually got this reusable envelope, plastic envelope that fits all that product in there. And you can see what you're looking at, what you're thinking about purchasing, which is the best part of all. Saturday for the rain. Yeah, we do need it. We do need it. It'll green right up once we have it. Okay, so in this Craft Your Life project kit is called Flower Arch. So it comes with this large stamp. Let me grab my ruler. We'll see how big that is. That image. So it's approximately, no, it's like almost an 8, not quite an 8-inch length. So beautiful image you can use for a great focal point, but look at all the sentiments it has on here. It's got some wonderful sentiments. You're on my mind and in my heart. Hugs, thanks, congrats. I love all the sentiments. And if you've purchased any Altenew products before, I'll just show you this insert. Hi, Kelly. Um, they do a great job giving you some ideas. So they show you all the pieces in the kit and then they give you some ideas. And in fact, see how they actually have little trim lines here. So if you wanted, you could trim this out, maybe keep a catalog of all the ideas with the ink colors, or even just trim that image out and slap her on a card front if you wanted to. Okay, so that is the stamp. And one of the cool things I like about this kit in particular, it's got the layering stencils as well. So these are going to color in the flowers. Okay, let me just pop that stamp back here. So you're going to be able to kind of just do a simple coloring of all the florals and the leaves on that. But as well, they've added Let me just open this up. I haven't actually opened this up yet, so I just picked it up the other day. We'll just pull that out here. I don't even know how many stencils are in here. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 5 stencils in here, but so we've got all the pieces to color the flowers. Hi, Gail. Hi, Jenny. But what I also like is they've given you a stencil to color in the 3D embossing folder. So one thing that's kind of neat with this kit, and I think they've done it with the May Craft Your Life kit as well, is you're not getting like an exact duplicate of this image per se. For example, of the floral image, you're getting pieces that coordinate together. So the embossing folder, this all coordinates together to be able to build yourself a fun little scene, like here, where they've just trimmed out part of the florals, and then that's the embossing folder, or you can just stencil that. You can use the stencil just to stencil that area there. So I think that's kind of fun. It's kind of a different take on this, because then you can mix and match all these pieces with your other product as well. So this kit comes with, we've got the stamp, okay, we've got the coloring stencils, okay, we've got the 3D embossing folder, okay, and so again, you can use these 2 pieces separately, you can use them together to color in all the brick here, or you can use it separately, and then it's also got the coordinating die. So you're getting all this in the one kit. So then they've got the large die to cut out the bloom, and then a couple of sentiment strip dies to cut out the sentiments. And these things are great because you can use these strips with any of your other sentiments if they're kind of sized the same way. Okay. Hi, Lori. It is beautiful, yes. So that is the Flower Arch Craft Your Life project kit. That's in the store right now. And I do know Sandy said she had a request for the Altenew May Craft Your Life project kit. So, you can look that one up online. If that's something you might be interested in, you can drop Sandy a note to ask her to bring that one in for you as well. It's another beautiful one. It's got magnolias on it. Okay, so here's another. If you've seen any of the zero waste dies from Altenew, they're a great, great product, and this one has a fabulous price point at $18.50 for a die. That's awesome. But basically, you can cut out these pieces, and there's no wastage. You can use all of the pieces. So this is a very simple die set. But you can see here, you can use that negative piece, you've got the oval frame, and then you can cut out all those flowers. So I'm going to be putting together some samples with that. So just stay tuned to social media, and I'll pop something up there once I get to it. But I like the zero waste product line. It's really, really fun to use. All right. So next up, we've got the Mini Delight set. And what these are, it's just a small stamp and die set, but they may be little, but they have a lot of possibilities. Okay, so this comes with a little layering stamp, our small sentiments, and then look at these dies. These are fantastic. I think if you're someone who's into ATCs, these would be super fun to use on ATCs. Let me see if I have one that's an ATC size here to show you. Well, I don't. But I'm kind of in ATC swaps. I'm going to use that for that, but just super, super fun. And again, it's a great price point. 23 for the set. It is pretty, isn't it? Let me just pull out the packaging here because I think this, let me see. Let me feel that if it has any, I can't tell if it's double layered or not. Nope. So I'll just hold this up here so you can see that. So that's kind of the size. This would be a A2 card front on here, and then that's the size of what you'd get in there with the blooms. Yeah, the die set is awesome. So an ATC, Janice, I called it ATC. It's an artist trading card. So they are a 2.5 by 3.5 inch card, and you basically just kind of create a little tiny small piece of art. And then some people join swaps where you'll swap the cards. Let me just grab one example to show you really quick. I had one nearby, but I can't really show you that one because if you're in the swap I'm in, then you'll see it earlier. Okay, let's see. Let me just grab this guy out. Okay, so this is just a little 2.5 by 3.5 inch. And our theme for this one was rain. So I just used a little stencil, but that's what those are. And then you can use these, you can put them on card fronts, so on and so forth. Oh, the Mama Elephant ATC die. Oh, okay. So Sandy says for anyone who's ordered the Mama Elephant artist trading card die, they're not, Mama Elephant says they're not going to be able to fulfill that. So she's just waiting to see if they have some other option or if it's just going to be a negative all the way around. So she will let us know that when she gets that info. Oh, no problem. My pleasure, Janice. Okay, now we've also got the Luminous Diamond Rings background stencil, and I'll just show you, this is the packaging there. So super fun to use. I'm going to be using that. It works great with paste, all of that. Okay. And then in the store as well, this was from I think it was from the last release, or it might be the one before. But this is really pretty. The Parchment Bouquet Layering Die Set. So that builds you a beautiful little bouquet like that. Would be great for Mother's Day, something like that. But even something like this would be perfect for sympathy cards as well, I could see. So for those of you who love die cutting, it would be wonderful. And it's actually not too bad. It's not too many pieces. Sometimes there's a lot of pieces. This one's not too bad. Okay, and then we've also got the Through the Tulips. This is from the Build a Garden series that Altenew offers. And when you purchase a Build a Garden set, it comes with a mini ink blending brush. Okay, these things are great. And then this one has the outline stamp set, and then along with the coordinating coloring stencil. So that's the Through the Tulips. And then I think this particular set has an additional die that you can purchase separately. So if that's something you've got in your stash, if you've got this already and you might want the die, you can also see if Sandy can bring that in for you. All right. So that's a quick boo at some of the new under the May 1st category in the shop. And now we are going to be playing with this set. And so this is the Magnolia Dreams 3D folder and the simple coloring stencil. Okay, and this comes as a set, but of course you can use the stencils just on their own. I'll kind of show you that, the 3D folder on its own. And we're going to do a couple of different card fronts with this folder, but we're going to do some inking first, and then we'll use the folder. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to show you what we did for Carnival for one of our make and takes. And so it's essentially just kind of an inking technique with 3D embossing folders. And I'm just going to grab my little non-slip guys here. Makes it easier for inking. So I'm going to use the Lisa Horton metallic inks. I think we've still got a pretty good supply of these in the shop. If you haven't used them yet, they're going to add such a lovely bit of sparkle. Okay, excuse if I shake my... Now, trust me, this is going to look like a hot mess. Don't worry. It's all going to work out. The end result is going to be beautiful. And it's almost easier when You expect a hot mess at first because you know you're on the right track and you don't have to be too particular about getting everything in the right spot. So how has May been for everyone? We are looking forward to heading to Carnival in Edmonton. Anybody here going to be at Carnival? If you are in the Edmonton area, come and say hi to us. We'll have a big booth there as well. And that being said, we will be starting to pack up for Carnival. It is a process and that takes some time. So if there's anything you see in the shop that you want to get your hands on, put your order in right away. Okay, so that Sandy can get those pulled, because once it's in the bin and ready to go, she will not be able to dig that out for you until we get back. Okay, and if you're going to be in Edmonton and there's something that you want Sandy to bring, by all means, just give her a heads up and let her know. Oh, yay, Darlene. Looking forward to seeing you there. Okay, so here is our panel. I'm just going to pull that off and set that aside. I'm going to give that a little bit of a dry with my heat tool here, just to make sure it's dry. Because this metallic ink is a pigment ink and it is slow drying. So it's kind of hard to see in this light. Yeah, it's hard to see the shimmer in there because it does have a little bit of a shimmer being metallic. But now I'm going to grab the embossing folder. And so I'm going to pop that in there. Actually, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do it this way. So you can see here, I've got the name of the folder is on this side, but I'm actually going to put my cardstock in with the inked side, okay, facing the back side of the folder. Okay, so I'm kind of going on the fly here. We're going to, yeah, I'll explain as I go. So I'm just going to grab my big shot here, and I'm just going to do this off camera, guys. So just quickly running this through the big shot, or sorry, my Platinum 6. Pardon me. Okay. All right. So there is my piece, and you can see what I've done is I've used the back side, which kind of depresses, okay, into the cardstock. Okay, and if I flip it over, I can see the reverse side is the 3D relief. Okay, but the reason I'm doing that, see where my scrap paper is? We're gonna do like a super easy blackout technique. Okay, and then on the second go around, I'll show you the exact kind of one that we did for the make and take. Okay, so I've just grabbed my black ink pad. I've got the Hero Arts Intense Black. So if you've ever seen that type of card front, that's got the bright color in it and then the black, kind of a really deep background, this is one way you can achieve that. So I'm just going to run my black ink pad. Okay, and you can see that the higher points, so the area that is not depressed into the cardstock, is the area that is catching all my black ink. I think my ink pad's a little bit dry. It's easier to do if your ink pad is nice and juicy because you can just go right over that top. Okay, so super duper easy. Tammy asks, any chance you're getting the strong oak stencil and die set from Altenew? Sandy can order it in, Tammy, for sure. If that's when you'd like her to bring in and that, she might still be live here, so. Oh, okay. Thanks, Sandy. All right. So there is, that's kind of one way to do that blackout technique. Okay. So I'm going to let it dry and then I might go over it again just to kind of fill in any places, any little spots there. Okay. And so I'm going to set that aside. Just going to clean my fingers because I've got black ink all over them, and move my scrap paper. And I know I probably could have just left that on my, or put that back on my sticky mat, but it's just easier not to. Okay, let me bring my sticky mat back in that I just saw, and now I can't remember. Now I don't know where it is. How does it disappear? I don't know. There it is. It's underneath my scrap paper. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to go back through. I'm going to grab another piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to show you another way that we can add color to kind of this background area. Okay, just kind of a different way. So I'm going to come back in again with some metallic ink. I'll maybe grab a couple of other colors as well. And I'm going to go a little bit heavier this time around. Make it really, really vibrant and sparkly. Thanks, Rosie, fellow Rosie. I was traveling, this was a while ago, and there was a family in the airport, and they had a little girl named Rosie. So every time they kept calling her name, I kept looking, thinking somebody was talking to me, because it's not always common. So it kind of kept throwing me off. It was pretty funny. All right, and I'm going to come back in with some Love Struck. So you can see I've inked that a lot heavier, just to get some really deep color, because we are going to do something similar to the previous card in a different way, but with a different color of ink as well. Okay. And again, it kind of looks like a hot mess, but don't worry, it will all come together. And then after this one, I want to show you how quick and easy you can get a lovely look with just the stencil as well. So again, this Magnolia Dreams, it's called. So it's a set where you get both the embossing folder and the coloring stencil. And of course, they're designed to be used together, but you can use them together or separate. All right, so I'm going to just pull that off. And now here, I think if I tilt that, because I used a much heavier hand, I think you can see a little bit more of the shimmer in that color. All right, we'll just move that aside. I'm going to hit that with my heat tool a little bit. All right. Okay. Now I'm going to grab the embossing folder. Okay. And this time I'm going to apply solid gold ink. Okay, this is from the Lisa Horton limited edition metallic set. Okay, but I'm going to go direct to the embossing folder, and I'm doing the side that has the name of the folder on it. Okay, because this is the flat side. And I'm just going to drag that down. And what you want to do is kind of keep the ink from going into the depressed areas. So essentially, when we run this through the die cut machine, whichever machine you have in the sandwich that you have, then that ink is going to transfer right to the background. Okay, so we might have to do it a couple times, but we'll start here. You were like, plus, you got called, oh, Grover when you worked at WestJet. I like that, Rosie. Okay, I'm gonna just quickly step off camera, run this through my Platinum 6. All right, running through. Okay, so I'm just gonna flip that up. So you can see I'm gonna call this layer 1. Okay, so it's just kind of starting to, we're gonna do another layer of gold, and then I think we might go in with a little bit of black as well on top, just to kind of see what that looks like. So you see, I just opened that up. I'm making sure that I don't move my panel at all. That way, when we run this back through, and we might even mix in a green or something like that. I think might be kind of cool, but we'll see. All right. There you go. Sits right on top. And we'll run this through again. Okay. And I'm just going back through in both directions to kind of try to deposit the ink. All right. And so there you can see we've got a lot more gold under there. Okay. So I think it's probably going to take a few layers, but I'm going to just give this a quick wipe, and I'm actually going to go over top with a little bit of black, just going to get my scrap paper here. There we go. Just to kind of see if we can deepen that background up, but still leave a bit of gold coming through. Just going to give that a little wipe. So I probably should have gone with like maybe a dark purple or something, but it's all about experimenting to see what will work well. Okay. So I just want to make sure I don't have any more gold left on there so I don't contaminate my black ink pad. That looks okay to me. All right. So I'm going to come in and just do a light little swipe. Kind of see that should deepen up some of those areas, but it's light enough that I'm hoping the gold just kind of shines through a little bit. And if it doesn't, that's fine. All right, last time, guys. Okay, gonna run this through the Platinum 6. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. All right. So that's what it looks like. So it's got a little bit of gold in the background, and then I've just lightly inked it with the black. Okay. So here, this is all black, so with a bit of yellow, so that's quite a deep background. And then we've got the 3D embossed. So we're gonna let that dry, and I might hit it with some gold spatters, and I think that would be really pretty. So you get enough of a jump from the background. Okay, love that. So these guys I'll finish off later with sentiments. But now let's take a look at, I just want to show you the kind of look you can get with the stencil if you just use it on its own. So if we were using this just with or if we were, sorry, embossing and then coloring the folder or coloring the embossing, where do I put that card? Sometimes I think I'm so organized and then I realize halfway through this that, oh, I should have grabbed something else to show you guys. Let me just see, where did I put that packaging? Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's funny, it doesn't really even show it on the packaging. Sometimes it does. It might be inside here. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Sorry, so if you used the stencil to color in the embossed folder, this is kind of the look you would get. So you'd have a white background, and then you'd see all the detail in that folder. It's kind of what that does when you use it that way. Okay, but right now we are just going to use the stencil by itself. So I've I've trimmed a piece of white cardstock here to 5.5 by 5.5. Just going to place that kind of in the top corner. Just going to slide that in a little bit. I'm not going to move my cardstock, so I just kind of want to line it up so that my stencil is going to sit right in the corner there. And then I know that when I replace the next layer, it's all going to line up perfectly. Okay. So since I have these metallic inks out, I'm just going to use these metallic inks as well. Okay, and the stencils are numbered. So I don't know if you can see here, it tells me this is stencil number 1. So I'm going to start with this. And I'm going to use the Love Struck metallic ink. Okay. And so if you were going to kind of color in your embossing, you could emboss first, then layer the stencils over and color in those areas. Or you can stencil like this first and then line it up within your embossing folder. Or we can just plain old use the stencil on its own. And you don't even need to do the embossing step if you don't want to. It just gives another look. I kind of find that it kind of feels like a soft, almost watercolory look. Hi, Cynthia. Thanks, Melanie. Thanks, Rosie. Yes, it is a beautiful set, Cynthia. Okay, so we're going to get this first layer done. And the nice thing when you're using a sticky mat like this, your paper stays in place. And because I've aligned it so that my stencil just sits in the corner here, then I know that as long as the next layer, I bump it right into that corner, I'm going to have perfect placement. Okay, so I'm going to peel that off. Okay, there's our first layer done. And I'm just going to, whoops, sorry about moving the camera there, guys. trying to grab my paper towel, which I put under my stand. Okay, just gonna slide that out of the way. Because it's metallic ink, I'm gonna just use a bit of alcohol there to clean that up right away. It doesn't take long, and there we go. I don't have any water beside me, so I'm just gonna do it this way really quick. All right, that's done. Now we'll take stencil number 2. This is stencil number 2. Okay, and I'll slide that in the corner there. You can see that lines up really well. And I'll just press that onto my sticky mat, and that will hold it in place. Okay, now I don't have to worry about that shifting at all. So I'm going to do the same thing, because stencil number 2 is the remainder of the blooms. So I'm using the same color. Okay, and you could come in here too if you wanted to add a little bit more of a deeper color at the base, kind of at the base of the petals. You could come in with a smaller ink blending tool or a detail set of blending brushes. Add other color to there, whatever you like. Okay, I find stenciling like this so relaxing. And just easy. These types of sets, it covers an entire card front, so you could use this as a background for maybe some die cut flowers, or just throw a sentiment on it and call it a day. So really quick card. Okay, just gonna pull that off. There's our blooms. And now our last layer is going to be the centers and this is I have to line this up for some reason. I must have slid my paper a little. All right, the centers and the leaves. So for this one, do I have a green? I'm just going to grab a green. And then we'll use Sunshine for the flower centers. I'm just going to grab a couple of smaller brushes here. If I have one handy, I think I do. Where are they? There they are. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So we're just going to do the base of the buds and the leaves. So the only thing you want to be careful of is you can see that this is a very, very small little piece of stencil material. So you want to just, when you're inking in that area, you want to be gentle so that you don't accidentally tear your stencil material. Okay, and so I'm using, this is the largest stencil brush from the Altenew. I think it's called the Micro Blending Brushes set. So that one comes with 4 blending brushes. This one's the largest, and then it's got, whoops, well, I have 3 here, but I believe there is 4. And then there's another one this size. I just didn't grab it. All right. So I might have been able to get away with a bigger brush, but this works. All right. So nice thing with this is there's just all sorts of ways you can color these. If you want to add a bit of ink, like maybe an alcohol marker friendly type of ink, and then go in after and add some details with your alcohol markers or colored pencils. If you enjoy coloring, really easy stencil to work with to do that. I haven't done that in a while, but that's fun too, where you can also run it through your 3D embossing folder and then actually add your color with alcohol markers. That's a fun way to use a 3D embossing folder like this and to kind of challenge yourself as well. Great way to practice. Sometimes we don't spend enough time. We always kind of look at, we got to make something that's got to be used right away. It's either a card that's going to be used or it's a um, scrapbook layout that's going to have pictures right away, and we don't take the time to just kind of play with our stuff. So sometimes it's nice just to do that. Okay, so I am using Sunshine for the flower centers. So that's going to be a really pretty color combo. All right. Nice and springy and happy. Okay. So let's peel that off. Sweet. So there is, so really pretty on its own. And you can call that done, or we can run it through the embossing folder. So maybe, you know what? Why don't we do that? Let's run it through the embossing folder, which I'm going to quickly clean because I didn't clean it. So hopefully we don't have lots of ink left on it after I clean it. All right. Rub my stamp, clean my stamp wheel here. Okay, just giving this a quick clean and then I'll just show you how I'm gonna line this up in my embossing folder. Now, I personally would normally emboss first and then stencil on top, but we're gonna do it the opposite way because I don't see why you can't. All right. Wipe that off, make sure I get any remaining ink off. Okay. So you won't notice on the back side there if there's any left. All right. So I've got my embossing folder here. Now I've got what we've inked. And so I'm just going to line this up in this corner. Start on my left hand top. Okay. And so I trim this panel to 5.5 by 5.5. And I'm just gonna, you can kind of see as you're working it through here, you can see kind of where it lines up. So that looks pretty good to me. I don't see why not. Okay, I'm gonna run that through my Platinum 6. Oh, one thing I forgot to do was maybe hit it with a little bit of mist to keep the paper from cracking, but it should be okay. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, so here's the embossed panel, but one thing to point out, it shifted a little bit when I put it in the folder. So can you see that? It's just a little bit like, But not to worry. I'm going to take a little bit of this solid gold. Even though that shifted a little bit, I'm just going to take a light little, I know you're like, don't do it. I'm going to do it. We're just going to take a light little swipe just to add a little bit of gold to those high points. Okay, but then I think what this does as well, even in some of those few of those areas where my paper shifted in the embossing folder, I'm going to come back in after that, but now it kind of gives it a little shadowy layer. So perfect. So if you're going to put it into the embossing folder like I did, I would probably add a little bit of adhesive on the backside just to hold it in place so it doesn't shift, because that's what happened. It shifted a little inside the folder. Okay, but yeah, there you go. We've got when you look at it, three very different looks with that same Magnolia Dreams 3D embossing folder and stencil set. Thanks, Jenny. Thanks, Melanie. Okay, so I will turn these guys into cards a little later, and you guys will see them on the Scrapshots Facebook group and on Instagram. Okay, and so don't forget, if you want to order anything, get your orders in right away. We'll be packing up for Carnival here starting very soon. So if your order doesn't get in right away, you're probably going to have to wait until near the end of the month. I think Carnival is the 22nd and 23rd of May. Yes. Sorry, 23rd and 24th. We're heading there on the 22nd. So get your orders in. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks, Cynthia. Thank you, everyone. I had a really great time. Aw, thanks. All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Okay, good. Sorry, my feed froze for a moment, so my internet might be telling me to get off. All right, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Take care, and I will be back with you again next week. We're just doing a little swapperoo, Carla and I. So yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing some more fun products with you next week, everyone. Okay, take care and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.